There's some blue hair out there. All your kids are 65 already. By round of applause here, who's been to an orgy before? You've been around a while. You gotten into it. Don't you try to lie to me. You got that little frilly thing. You've definitely had more than 2 dicks at once. For sure. Come on. It's a matter of years. It's like, put your hands together and welcome to the stage, me. Good. Good effort. Well done, guys. All right. So, hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm just going to make sure I've got everything started and running here. I think I do. What do we need to know here? So this thing is sold out. I don't know where half these people are. But what you're going to have to do is don't leave any open seats because there's no... Otherwise, people are going to be sitting on your lap, big fella. You guys... They can talk about whatever pops up. That old one. So I'm Jimmy. Now, here's what you've got to know. By round of applause, oh God, the drunk older ladies, they're going to ruin the entire show for you. I apologize, but they don't know what the hell's going on. They've got that sense of privilege, don't they? Because they own everything. So that's why you have to rub 2 sticks together to try to make fire. That's why. Anyhow, I don't know what that had to do with anything. So, ladies. I was trying to say, here's what you need to know about the show. By round of applause, oh my God. Hello, how are you? By round of applause, and now round of applause means clapping. So don't do this, which I know you're about to. By round of applause, who watched some of the advertising so they know what they're getting into? Here's what comedy is like this. I don't know if this is the analogy a mate and I came up with yesterday. It's a lot like sex, okay? So some people might be here and they want you to make love to their ears with the comedy. And then other people are here and they want to be fisted elbow deep. So we're trying to balance between those. That's what you're supposed to do if you're a good comedian. Like, that's not what I do at all. I just say the shit that comes out of my mouth. Here's how I know if I've got a good joke. I test it on my missus first. I know it's going to be a good joke if she says to me, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" That's how I know it's going to go well. I won't pick on you in the front row, really. I mean, I already did, so I guess that's a lie. I'm Jimmy. We're going to do, like I was saying, the toilets are out there. Other things to know, we're going to take an intermission about halfway through, like after about 40 minutes. At any point, if you're like, I want to get up and get a beer, don't be like, just go ahead and do it. Don't be afraid. We're not going to be like, how dare you? This is an artistic, there is nothing artistic about this. Or if you got to get up and go to the toilet or go out and vape or whatever the gay fellas do now. I won't, I'm sorry, I'm still picking on you without even trying to pick on you. But then we'll have an intermission and then the drunker you get, the funnier we'll be, obviously. I never know where to start a show other than, I was starting to say this, I guess, kind of. I've been doing comedy long enough that I don't care if people get sad during it. So when I go and tour in America, I love doing jokes that they fucking hate, that Australians love, and then the other way around as well, like, because there's just certain things that you can't say in one country or the other. Stupid little religious jokes. This joke is neither good nor bad, but Americans, no, it's good, but it's not offensive, but Americans get offended by it. I was saying that if I ever meet Jesus, I think he would have a sense of humor. You remember the old "your mama's so fat" jokes? His mama wouldn't have been fat, but if I ever meet him, which is highly unlikely at the rate I'm going, I want to say to him, "Jesus, your mama's so ugly, I bet she's still a virgin." They get offended by that one. The thing about, I do love ripping into religion. Look, I was raised Catholic, which I remember quite fondly. I like ripping into it, though, because there's a lot of things that Americans, we just believe what we believe, and we don't think about it, right? And so, like, the whole thing about Jesus, and so Jesus is born, right, and he was born to a virgin, and Joseph and Mary part of the problem why they kind of had to try to keep it quiet, whether it was God or Joseph is irrelevant, had to keep it quiet because they were not married at the time. They were engaged. And also, at the time, Joseph was 36 years old. And Mary was 12. And even 2,000 years ago, Joseph knew you got to keep it quiet. Because if you're going to get a woman pregnant that's 1/3 your age, you better be 54, and she better be Asian. That makes it okay. Ned, you're going to have fun here. They're a good audience. I'm trying. This one, we'll see if this one suppresses the laughter. In America, I did this in front of a room about this size in a small town in the state of Washington, Idaho border there. And the joke is this. My family being very religious, I was telling them, they're always carrying on about the second coming of Christ is going to be in 20 years, or in 40 years, or in 60 years. And I said, yeah, but y'all refuse to admit he was a man, and the first coming of Christ was probably all over Mary Magdalene's titties. Crickets. That's what I got. Fucking crickets. Like not even a half of a laugh. And after the show, a guy, just move some of the chairs back around out there and just get on in. Just sitting right in the aisle, it doesn't matter, it's fine. So after the show, a big fella comes up to me, and he's about like a 300-pounder, like 140 kilos, big fella, 6'6" type of a guy, big old hillbilly. And he goes, boy, you know that joke you did about Mary Magdalene? And I was like, yeah. He goes, it was your funniest joke all night. I go, well, you could have laughed. He goes, I ain't going to laugh at that shit. I'm here with my mother-in-law. I never invite family to shows because of, obviously, the shit that comes out of my mouth. The one person that I've invited to a show was my father-in-law because he's a good Christian fella, but he's got a bit of a mean streak. I was helping him with doing the lawns at their house when I was visiting, and I found $1 on the lawn, and I picked it up. I said, Daryl, there's $1. He goes, oh, put that back. And I was like, what? He goes, Jane, my mother-in-law, loves finding money. That is her favorite pastime. And he goes, so I walk around the house, and I just drop quarters and nickels and dimes. And I went, you are the sweetest, most loving Christian husband ever. And he went, nah, I just like watching her bend over. You dirty old fucker. I had an audience in Fremantle, Western Australia, and there was about 4 or 5 guys. What kind of age are you guys? 24, 25? 21. 22. So young and beautiful. You got the flowing locks. So there's a couple of guys there about 25, and there's 4 of them in the front row, and they're going, we want to come to the small towns where you're from. And I said, you think you do, but you do not, because in the winter, it is 40 below zero. And in the summer, it ain't nothing but cows and pigs walking around, and that's just my stepsisters. I did that at an open mic show, never got asked to perform there again. I love it when you first start comedy and you're struggling to get through just like 5 minutes. And like my first 20 shows, I did nothing but just bomb, because what I think is funny was I was just out there fisting everybody as far as my comedy, and so I had to dial it down. But I did a show, it was like maybe 20 shows in, and I did my little 5 minutes somewhere, and people actually laughed, and I was like, I did so good. And then after the show, a fella come up to me, and real sincere, he goes, Jimmy, I just want you to know that you're a real inspiration for all the other ones that also have autism. And I just stood there like this for about 20 seconds, and then finally went, thank you very much. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, now we both feel like assholes. I frequently feel like an asshole. My missus, because she has to put up with me, okay, here's when we first got to Australia. This is the kind of stuff my missus needs to put up with. We first get to Australia. We've been living in Australia for 20 years, only been living in Tassie for kind of 2.5. we moved to Western Australia. I did not know that Australia was not a religious country. But I did hear that. However, the first people I met were like devoutly religious. They worked at some Baptist university. And then everybody they're introducing us to also works there. So imagine my surprise. After 3 months, everybody we met, maybe 12, 14 people, like as religious as Tammy Faye Baker. And I was raised Catholic, and if that don't turn you into an atheist, nothing will. So we're at this barbecue, and everybody's sitting around, and I had started to get enough of it, listening to their shit. And so we're sitting at the barbecue, and everybody keeps going, how come you haven't, we're 30 years old at the time, how come you haven't had babies yet? Jesus wants you to have babies. And this one woman looked a lot like you if you had long blonde hair. And she keeps going, how come you haven't had babies yet? Jesus wants you to have babies. I had enough of it, looked up from my food. I said, because I can't get my missus pregnant if she keeps asking me to shove it in her ass. And after that, nobody ever invited us anywhere again. So I thought that was a win-win. How are you coping? You're good. It's interesting. Like you guys are country, so you're fine, right? You live around this area, don't you? Yeah. It's interesting. Like the age group that you guys are, you got a good sense of humor. My daughter's got a good sense of humor. Man, city people are fucked. I can't stand them. I got no jokes with that, but those people drive me goddamn crazy. So when I go back and tour, I only tour in the small towns in America, like towns that are like between 6,000 and 19,000. Now in Tassie, there's about 10 of those towns. In the area where I'm touring through America, there's 440 to choose from. Now, they got a good sense of humor, but sometimes I get in a little trouble because I'm driving around in a pedo van, right? In a 1990 Chevy van. And I put my logos all over it so people know it's a comedian. But when I first got the show, we're living in Iowa near my wife's family, and I just sit anywhere. There's probably not seats together. Apologize. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything yet. I've told like 4 jokes, and I'm not funny. By a round of applause if I'm not funny. Thank you guys very much. Oh, you guys didn't even help my lie. Anyway, so I'm touring around in this van. And when I first got the van, it was poo brown. And it's parked out the front of the house, and the neighbor women come running over, and they're knocking on the window, and they're like, Jimmy, oh my God, we live in a bad neighborhood. We're so sorry. Somebody has destroyed your van. And I go out there, I'm thinking broken windows or something. Nope. Go around. They go, no, on this side. Go around to the other side of the van, and in big white paintbrush, it says, free candy. Spelled with a K, which is bad. Not as bad as if it was a van down in Georgia. They would have spelled it with 3 Ks. And I start laughing hysterically, and these women are going, why do you think it's so funny that some dickhead destroyed your van? And I was like, because I'm the dickhead. Because my plan was to go pick up my daughter. She was 15 at the time when we were living in America for a year while I was touring. And I was going to go pick her up in the van from high school. So I pick her up. My wife gets a call from Amanda in administration saying Jimmy can't have the van on school property. I said to my wife, this is America. It's freedom of speech. I'll drive my goddamn van where I want to drive my van. So that was on a Thursday. On Tuesday, I go to pick up my daughter from the school. Here comes Amanda out of the office. She goes, Jimmy, you can't have the van on school property. I said, Amanda, can I be honest? She went, yeah, be honest. I said, honestly, I am just here to grab a couple of kids. I said, I know you don't like most of them. Just pick 2 and you never see my ass again. In America, the small towns are Republican. Those are the red counties. And then you got the Democrats, which is the blue county, people living in the city. And this is a really interesting fact. I've gotten a lot of shit for this online, but it is a true fact. 49% of Democrat male voters have never fired a gun. And apparently it's on account of the loud sound causes them too much pain in their vaginas. That was a distraction. I think there'd be a lot more Hummers blowjobs. If taking a shot in the mouth tasted like maple syrup. It does not. I only know that because of the look on my wife's face a week ago. The look on her face could have been because it woke her up. That's the last time she'll ever fall asleep in the movie theater. You know, see, this is what I love. You guys get it's a fucking joke. I had somebody at a city show go, you know, that's basically rape. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I'll just crawl into your bed and whisper it to you at night then. Oops, I'm going to hell now. That was probably crossing the line with that one. There's one word. Now I've been here long enough now I'm starting to say other words. But when I first got here, for the longest time, there was only one word that I said with an Australian accent because we don't have it in America. That's the word fucking pufta. I say it right now because I was saying it the way it's spelled. I saw it Poofter. So I'm asking the fellas at the bar, are you a poofter? They just thought I was asking them for a date. Another word that I say now, we say banana, we say strawberry, you know, that kind of stuff, bat tree. My daughter and I, we do this thing where we try to cringe each other out. I win because I'm better at it. I walk into the room, she's sitting there at the kitchen table, she picks up a banana, she peels it, and she starts eating it sideways. I go, what the fuck are you doing? She goes, this is how Mama says good girls eat bananas. So I can assure you, sweetheart, that is not how your mama eats bananas. Take that. But I got her back. I always tell her that she can be a smartass to me so long as she's got a good punchline, which is backfiring because she's picking it up pretty quickly. But now this is the only serious part of the show. I like to mention this. Anybody, by round of applause, anybody have teenage daughters? all your kids are 65 already. There's some blue hair out there. And then you are 17. No, you're 21. You're at least 21 right now. These guys. 24. Oh, look at you. You're a cradle robber. Good on you. You're like, I can train this one. Anyway, so my daughter, when she was going into high school, she's 14 years old or whatever she was, I said to her, the only thing you got to know to get through life is this one rule that I made up. It's a 3-part rule, right? Because in the modern day, what caused you more problems in high school than any other problems? What caused you more problems than anybody else? No, not teachers. Sometimes women will say boys. No, they just want you to do that to their pee-pee. What caused you more problems than anything else in high school was bitches. Yeah, am I correct on this? Because they're going, your hair is too blonde and your shoulders are too wide. And my daughter, this poor thing, in the new millennium, what the ladies go through, they're telling my daughter, and for a girl, you don't even have a very big penis. That's a prerequisite now. So I told my daughter, all you got to know to get through life and through high school is this one thing. I call it the 3-bitch rule. Okay, like I said before, I'm not religious, all right? But treat other people the way you want to be treated. Don't be a bitch. Number 2, everybody always when these young kids, when times get tough, they go home and they cry to their mommy, right? Okay, look, if you got something to tell us. But when times get tough, you get tough. Perseverance, get the job done. Don't be a little bitch. And number 3, everybody always thinks they know your duty in life better than you do. Going to try to tell you how to live your life. I said, no, you got to kind of make your own life plan. Don't be somebody else's bitch. And from the other room, my wife over here goes, that's great. Now get in here and do the dishes, bitch. And my daughter goes, Dad, I want you to know I was paying attention to everything you said. And I ain't nobody's bitch. So I'm pretty certain Mama's talking to you. So that's when I just went and did the dishes. You got You got to know your place. By round of applause here, somebody, one of you ladies, come on. By round of applause here, who's been to an orgy before? You've been around a while. You gotten into it. Don't you try to lie to me. You got that little frilly thing happening. You've definitely had more than 2 dicks at once, for sure. Come on. It's a matter of years. It's like, it's not even calling you dirty or anything. I mean, we'll find out after the show if you're dirty. If I'm with her tonight and I end up with 3 fingers in my ass, then I know she's a dirty birdie. Anyway, I went to an orgy one time. It was pretty disappointing. It was at my uncle's dairy barn. Wasn't nothing but all my cousins standing around getting sucked off by the milking machine. And to this day, I'm still pretty pissed off them bastards nicknamed me the milking machine. You got it. That's good. That's good. Where else are we going to go with this now? I got a joke that doesn't end well, but I love the beginning parts of it. There's all these words you can't say anymore, right? You can't call them annoying spastic douchebags. Now the proper term is vegan. Do you know it's virtually impossible for a gay guy to be vegan? I never met a gay guy that didn't swallow. Oops. So, as humans, a lot of us eat meat. Ask your mom. A lot of us eat meat. If we eat meat, we tend to eat animals that eat plants, like lamb and what else? Deer, something like this, right? Because the sugars make their meat taste sweet. Right? They say sugar is more addictive than heroin, which I think is a bunch of bullshit because I ain't never sucked nobody's dick for an ounce of sugar. I mean, not since I was a kid. We don't eat predatory animals like lions and tigers and Catholic priests. That's why, if there's ever a situation where we have to revert to cannibalism, before anything else, eat the vegans. That's right. Who said that? You did. Excuse me, ma'am. What was your name? What is it? Diana. Are you vegan? No, that's a damn shame because I'd like to eat you. That joke rarely works. That rarely works. Now I figured out the only way it works is if somebody talks and then that person. That's good. All right. Another one you can't say, you guys, we can't call them retardeds no more. You know, that term's off limits now. We got to use the proper term that they want, which is feminist. Specifically male feminists, those fucking losers. Another one can't say anymore, can't call them. I hate that you guys are going to like this joke, so fuck you ahead of time. Another one we can't call them no more, can't call them special needs. Now we have to call him Mr. President. If you laughed at that, you're racist. Because I wrote that in 2012 about Obama. Okay, that's good. This next joke, I believe, is my best joke. It's the best joke. It's got a hidden punchline. It's like as if you was a gay blind fella. You ain't gonna see it coming. But I like these jokes where you can't tell, is it left-leaning, is it right-leaning, and then it just turns out, nope, I'm just an asshole. In America, you can't get abortions everywhere, but you can get a vasectomy. It's pretty easy, right? But in Australia, when I first moved to this country, you get an abortion anywhere. I love that every time I look at you, you look down. I don't know what that means. Am I scary? What's that? Oh, my shoes, yeah. Because I might go hunting later, so you got to have the orange on or something. Yeah. That's right. I don't fucking know. It's comfortable, that's why. Where was I? Before you looked down at the ground so rudely. No, just kidding. Oh my God, one of my mates, we're doing a show and he was not going well. So he starts talking to the crowd and he knew it was over when he started talking to this fella and the guy just looked down at his food. Fucking party over. Anyways, in Australia when I first moved here, if you were under 40 years old and had less than 3 kids, they virtually would not give you a vasectomy, right? But what, in both countries, it's considered ethical and legal for a 12-year-old boy to transition into being a 12-year-old girl? And I think it's sick, because it's confusing for Catholic priests. How are they supposed to know what they're fucking? Of all the things that you can get mad about that joke, a guy come up to me out of the audience and he was so upset about that joke. This is in Australia. He goes, "Your joke is a lie. In Australia, you can get a vasectomy." I was like, what? He goes, "I know somebody who's 28 and just got one." And I went, "So what? I know somebody who's 23 and just got one. My daughter, Brian." Ever been with a midget hooker? I got a midget hooker recently, paid her $50 to go up on me. I will talk to anybody. I like that joke. I will talk to anybody. And again, I say it again, I'm not like Christian, but I will talk to anybody because it's just the right thing to do. And when the weather was warm, when I was in America the last time, I was talking to a homeless guy, or whatever we're supposed to call him now, at the local park. And one thing led to another, and I asked him how much for a hand job. And it was fantastic, because he only charged me $20 to give him one. Okay, maybe I think that's the last of my dick jokes for a second. It made me think of this when I'm talking to my friend Adrian. He knows I'm a comedian, and he's rarely dumb enough to do this because he lives on his phone. We're at the pub. We're fucking smashed, right? And this idiot has just been on his phone, and for whatever reason, he goes, "I gotta go have a piss," puts his phone down and leaves. And I was like, oh, here we go. So I get in there, I open his phone, it's already open. I start going into his social media. I'm like, okay, I'm trash, but I'm like, I'm gonna go back like a number of years. I'm gonna find some chick that I know he knows or that we know. And I go back like 5 years through her Facebook, and I find a picture, one of her photos from 5 years ago, of her in a bikini. And I put a little love heart next to it. So now he looks like he's been searching, like he's some kind of a creeper. But I didn't leave it at that. I put a little message that said, "Oh my God, your tits look so perky. I would love to motorboat them." Woke up the next morning and realized it was my own phone. And it was a picture of my sister. I'm redneck, so I stand by my comment. Oh my God, the best, this is how Australia, this is again, Americans, I really find, some of us can take jokes about ourselves, most of us cannot. They hate this joke. This is how I knew I was redneck. By the time I was 6 years old, my mama was in the kitchen cooking dinner, said to me, "Boy, can you find me some oil?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, you just tell me which country we got to invade." I had a guy come up to me and go, "That ain't even true. We don't do that." I was like, okay, we're bringing them freedom. I grew up in a trailer park. Oh my God, I saw there's a Royal Wolf sea container out here, shipping container, and on the side it says 1 to 2 bedroom unit. And I was like, that's what I lived in. That is what I live in now. I built my own house out of shipping containers. Okay, I'll try to get to that story. Firstly, I grew up in a trailer park, and in the trailer parks in America, they're not like the caravan parks here, okay? It's just nothing but poverty and meth. And when I was growing up, we were so poor, couldn't afford a normal pet like a cat or a raccoon. I literally had a pet rock, which was fantastic until my mama smoked the whole thing. You get that's a meth joke there? No, you did not. You have to ask somebody from like Mowbray or something. They know all about it. Scottsdale have a meth problem? Everywhere has a fucking meth problem. Anytime you see some weird psychopath murder that you're like, that doesn't fucking make any sense whatsoever, it was meth. That's all there is to it. This is, I don't know where I'm going now with this, but randomly, 15% of Australians and 15% of Americans have an IQ of less than 85. Okay, that's 54 million Americans. So when you're arguing with these people online, you're like, is this person fucking retarded? Yes, they are. That's all there is to it. Coco the gorilla. You remember Coco the gorilla? It was in California. There was this gorilla that they taught, she had an IQ of 85. They taught her to do 1,000 signs, and every time she get a sign right, they would give her a banana, right? You feed them, and then they do. It's called the pleasure principle. Not to be confused with the guy who used to run my Catholic primary school. Also the pleasure principle. I can't believe I'm doing this joke. So not a lot of people know this, but there is a gorilla that they had, I want to say it was in the Sydney Zoo, and its name is Ted. And they were using the pleasure principle to get Ted to do, they taught him to do 2,000 signs. Okay? Not because he's a man, but kind of because he was male, because he was motivated by the pleasure principle. Because I found out, I met the trainer, Tammy, and this guy in administration that I knew, he was saying all that she does is every time Ted gets a sign right, she just jacks him off. And then my friend said, you know a lot of sign language, do you want to help? And I was like, no, I do not. I said, I don't know that much sign language. He goes, don't worry about it, I'll be right back. I'm going to go in the back, get you a gorilla suit. Tammy will take care of that. Learned 1,000 signs in a weekend. I'm a motivated ape. Oh, there was something I was just thinking about when I was doing that joke. Can't remember what it was. Thought it was going to be a good one. Hold on. My brain's on the fritz. Oh my God. All right. So I was going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you that joke, that story. Instead, I'm going to tell you the most horrific jokes I have, and we'll see if I can get them out in the next 8 minutes because I'm going to finish on 40 flat. These are jokes that generally nobody likes in America or Australia, but fuck it. I'm about to end the half, and then Ned has to be the one who recovers. So when I was having a kid, like when you have kids, they're scary to have because they're so fragile. Because babies are a lot like iPhones, it turns out. They stop working after the first 10 or 12 times you drop them. I like my martinis the same way meth heads like their babies. Shaken. Or on the rock. Met a backpacker. This is what I love about, okay, God damn it. No, I'm getting sidetracked as usual. There's something that you never say in front of audiences. You never make a blanket statement that half the audience will agree with because half the audience will boo, right? So if I do this joke, I know it's funny, but I will lose half the audience. Okay, I was doing transcendental meditation, and the fellow was saying that all you have to do, if you can keep your mouth shut for 30 to 60 minutes, you will hear the voice of God. He said, if you can keep your mouth fucking shut for 30 to 60 minutes, you will hear the voice of God, which explains why in the Old Testament, none of the prophets were female. I know. I knew it's not like I thought you were going to laugh. So the other one that I had heard that you never would say in front of an audience, and I said it in front of an Australian audience, it's just a statement. So Australia's a racist country. And about 4 or 5 guys in the audience start yelling, fuck you, you Yankee, fuck, go back to your own country. And I was like, oh, confirmed. But I love that in Australia, I have experienced white-on-white racism. It is the greatest thing, because it's nothing I ever experienced anywhere else. I've played 8 years of Australian rules football in Western Australia, and I got down there, first guy I run into is a guy named Roscoe. Here's my accent. He goes, mate, all you need to know about Western Australia is FIFO. And I go, oh, I heard of that, fly in, fly out. He goes, nah, mate, you're an immigrant, fit in or fuck off. Like, God damn. That's a steep learning curve. Then I was at this place called the Sail and Anchor in Fremantle, and I'm getting a beer, and the guy behind the counter, I found out later, he was a Reclaim Australia guy, covered in tattoos, and he did not want to serve me. But I'm not like a little bitch, so I confronted him. I was like, man, what's going on with this? And he goes, honestly, you people, that's what he said, you people come to this country and steal jobs from Australian workers. I said, first of all, man, I ain't never stole nobody's job from nobody. I told him, ever since I got my citizenship 4 years ago, I've been on the dole. He was furious. I met a French backpacker. This is what I love about being an immigrant and talking to other immigrants. Met a French backpacker. Did you guys know that in Latin, the word for lingua, or for tongue, is like lingua or lingua? I did not know that. And this fella told me, Jimmy, I'm bilingual. Like lingua as in cunnilingus. So he said bilingual. I was like, okay, well, you go down on my missus first and finish me off afterwards. He goes, Jimmy, I speak 2 languages. I said, I don't know how the hell you're going to do that with my cock in your mouth. Okay, we're going well. You would have preferred I made love to your ears. But sorry about that. You can't win them all, sweetheart. You'll put up. If you've had to put up with these lads, you'll put up with this. So in America, oh God, how does this joke even fucking go? Okay, talking about abortion and stuff like that. I think that 90% of us, whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning, 90% of us are in the middle, and we can have a logical conversation. I'm a right-leaning person. I would say I understand that abortion is murder. I don't give a shit if people do it. I can understand that sometimes it's necessary. Like, heaven forbid, somebody had said this to me, and I was like, hypothetically, heaven forbid my niece were ever to get gang raped. I could understand why she might want to have an abortion, because obviously that would be better than having a baby of color. That is not a joke about black people, okay? People of color is Afghani and Indian, basically. So, I don't want people to think I'm racist against the wrong people. I mean, for fuck's sake. All right. 2 more. I'm going to tell you jokes. That's where I should end. No, this is the one I should end on. This is the most embarrassing, horrific thing that's ever happened to me in my life. My mother is 75 years old. She is not good with technology. She's an older woman, beautiful like yourself. But imagine 3 of you strapped together. That's the size of my mother. She's a big woman. I called her on the phone. She picks up the phone, says, "Sorry, Jimmy, I can't talk right now. I'm just getting out of the shower, and I'm still naked." I said, "I know, Mama, we're on FaceTime." She's holding the phone up out of the water, so I can see her titties sitting on her toes. It's steamy in the shower, isn't it? She drops the fucking phone. I am flustered, trying to hang up. The camera's facing up. She goes, "No, hold on, Jimmy, let me just squat down and pick it up." It had teeth. It was like watching Chewbacca yawn. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you. Now, we're going to take a little intermission. Now, this is what I was saying before. I know I should end on that joke, okay? But I don't like to end on that joke, because I like to tell this one that I feel like I've gotten better at telling. When I used to tell it, if I would tell it mid-set, I could never recover. There was no way to ever get the audience back. It's a story about 12 years ago. I went to my 20-year high school reunion when I was 38 years old in small-town America, where I'm from. And I go there, and I don't drink very often, okay, but I was, again, blitzed. I can handle about 2 drinks. I was 10 deep. And I'm talking to guys I played football with, guys I haven't seen in 20 years, just tying one on, having a great time, but unfortunately get stuck talking to this woman that I've known since I was 6 years old, this tall, skinny thing, and she won't shut the fuck up, and she's ruining the night, and I don't like her because she used to make fun of me when we were growing up for being a little fat kid on account of I was a little fat kid. This bitch traumatized me so much that I ended up needing nearly 2 years of counseling. So I do not want to talk to her right now. And so jokingly, because I want her to go away in my defense, okay, jokingly, I called her anorexic. And she was like, Jimmy, how dare you? You know I got a problem with that. You know I suffer from the anorexic. And I said, in my drunken stupor, anorexic? How the hell am I supposed to know you're anorexic? You look pretty goddamn fat to me. Which seems bad, I know, okay? But she turned out just fine. I seen her later that night in the corner trying to slit her wrists. But luckily she couldn't get through them chubby little bastards. And to this day, I still have no idea why that woman agreed to marry me. Thank you guys very much. All right, 10-minute break. Get some beers in you. We'll get the lights turned on so you're not falling over. Again, thanks so much. We'll see you in 10 minutes. All right, let's see if I can. So, all I'm really supposed to do is just introduce my tour partner. But since everybody's a little bit rowdy, I'll just tell a little quick story. I was telling you guys. Have I not turned the music down all the way? Okay, no. I don't even know the words of that one. But it's a good song. I do know that. Anything Offspring is good. So I was telling you about the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me was that thing about my mom. The worst, okay. Where do we begin with this? This probably applies to your dick, okay? It definitely applies to mine. My dick is as wide as it is long. Looks like a damn potato. Which is why I have nicknamed it the Dictator. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I was talking about building my own house. I really did build my own house from shipping containers as the main base of it. We got a 5-acre property there in Beaconsfield. But when you first get out there, there's no sewerage. So I had to build a little outhouse. And that was my first thing I built on the property. I was so proud. I took like some of the offcuts of the steel and I built the sides, put a little chair in there, put a platform made out of plywood, cut a hole in it, right? But I'm not an idiot. I don't want to end up getting splinters in my hamster hole. So I went to Bunnings and for $9 I bought a toilet seat. And I put that on there. And I put linoleum on the floor. But the toilet seat, the problem with it was, it had those little knobs at the front. You ever notice that they have those knobs at the front? And then the toilet seat was sitting up like that, and there's nothing comfortable about pooping uphill. So I'm a thinker. So what I did was I grabbed the grinder, and I cut those things off, and now it sat nice and flat, okay? But you know in Tasmania, it rains or there's dew in the morning. I walk in one morning to sit down on that little toilet. My boots slip on the linoleum floor, and 92 kilos of Jimmy come crashing down onto that toilet seat, and we bounced. And when we bounced, the Dictator swung forward and lifted the toilet seat just that much. And I figured out real goddamn quick why those knobs are supposed to be on there. I am howling, tears pouring down my face. The next house is 200 meters away, okay? And you know you have that little voice in your head that tells you, the only thing it said to me was, Jimmy, you got to make an executive decision right now. What does that even fucking mean? So here's the thing. You think to yourself, Jimmy, just stand up. Now, if you've ever stood up from a chair, you know 2 things need to happen. Number 1, you need to lean forward. Which means now all the pressure is on the toilet seat right there. I do not know how many newtons of force were on the tip of my pecker, but I can assure you it felt like a lot. The other thing that needs to happen when you stand up is your hips need to go backwards as a counterbalance. That cannot happen when your dick is tethered into a bear trap. So the executive decision I made was to brace my hands and stand up as quickly as possible to pop the little fella free. That's what I did, and it went about as well as the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. I don't have a major punchline for that joke, but that is the story of why my dick is now named Mashed Taters. All right, we're ready to go for the second half. Are you guys excited about this shit? The next fella is ready to make love to your ear holes. Here we go, big fella. You're going to love it. Put your hands together and welcome to the stage my tour partner, the very funny Tasmanian, Red Ned Townsend.
Thank you, mate. Thank you all. Thank you. Hey, keep that round of applause going for Mr. Jimmy Curats, ladies and gentlemen.